Hey guys, it's Johnny Judoka here with another video. It's been a rough couple of weeks. My therapist and I are starting to work on the religious trauma that I've experienced at different points in my life and now how it relates to my obsessive compulsive disorder. So, I would say that when I'm working with my therapist, things are going pretty slow because of how intense the trauma is. She doesn't want me to relapse and go to the hospital just because of talking about the trauma. So, for me personally, it's been something I've been putting off for a really long time. And I don't really know what to say or not to say because I'm pretty bold to talk about the stuff uh I want to talk about whenever it comes to trauma. When I was about 10 years old, I experienced sexual trauma at a church. Um, the details I reserve for my therapist, but yeah, I got sexually abused in a church. It's been also been frustrating because my parents are devout Christians, and there was a point in time around 9/11 where I feel like they were projecting their spirituality and faith onto the paranoia behind 9/11. My parents believed that there was another terrorist attack about to happen, and that because of that we would be followed and stuff. So a lot of my upbringing in life was a combination of being bullied emotionally, physically, and then also the paranoia of what we're experiencing. I will be the first to say that my parents are not schizophrenic. They're not mentally ill people. I mean, I would be able to tell as I am one, but I feel like that contributed a lot to me not feeling safe at church, along with the sexual abuse. I kept going to church. I even went back to the church that I had the abuse happen from, just to try to like force myself to exposure therapy myself. It didn't work, so I'm just going through a lot right now. I was part of a church organization in college that ended up basically almost causing me to commit suicide. Now this organization is not like doing anything illegal, but a lot of it had to do with their opinions and stances on sex, sexual purity, especially before marriage, the use of pornography. As someone with a high libido during that time because of my medications and also the hypomanic state I was in, I felt like I couldn't stop watching. Nowadays, my meds are giving me a chance to slow down on any interest sexually, but it was really hard for me to overcome this part of my life because the friends I made were genuine friends, and now we don't really talk anymore. And whenever I moved to Houston, I had no friends in that area. Gratefully, I have friends at jujitsu now that have been really helpful during my times of distress and frustration and mental illness and stuff. But I'm just gonna start processing trauma tomorrow, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not excited. I know I need to do it. I know I need to talk about the stuff that I need to talk about, but it's just hard because it's like I just spent several months trying to be stable, and I'm afraid that not that I'm not gonna be stable from the talk about the trauma, but I'm afraid that I'm not. I feel like I'm gonna be stuck, not being able to talk about this. I have a good therapist. She's really on top of everything, and we've been able to hash out some stuff, worked on some things that I've been worried about. But this is different. This is trauma. It sucks because my parents are really dedicated people in their faith, and it sucks because we hear all these things of prosperity gospel of like, oh, if you just believe in God then everything's gonna be okay. and you're gonna get money, you're gonna get success, you're gonna get relationships. My dad is 7 years old, has master's degrees in theology and other things, and he works at a gas station. He's 70. That's not like that's not right. You know, I mean, it's good that he has a good work environment, a helpful boss, you know, good hours, but it's just I just get so mad because it's almost like I'm like talking to God. Why does it take so long for me to feel like faith actually works? I felt like whenever I was having all those intrusive thoughts about um I don't even know if I should post this. I'm just I'm just not I don't want to process this. I'm just really stressed out because if people see this video and they see me differently because of that, I'm really scared that that's going to happen. I feel like it's been really frustrating having to deal with these issues, and just now finally life is getting better after 10 to 15 years of trauma and hospitalizations and stuff. And I don't want to do therapy, but I gotta do it because that's going to be the only way that I can get better. My medications are good. They're helpful. They help me get through where I need to get through, and keep me have a and my medications keep me on a good baseline. But everything can't be solved with just meds. And so one thing I'm noticing is that I have to work on my issues, and I've been challenged on that by several mental health staff. They're like, John, you have a lot of things going on, and just going to hospital won't help. You need to have really intense therapy to help process that. And so, I guess this whole update video is just me saying I don't want to process trauma like at all. It terrifies me. I'm afraid that people are gonna look at me different. I'm afraid that no matter what happens, I'm not gonna be able to process it. So it's just really frustrating because it's like I spent a lot of time trying to build my life after what happened. I haven't made a video like this in a long time because I was doing good. I was having fun, and now I'm at the point now where I'm really frustrated, anxious about talking about trauma. So I just want to clarify that the thoughts I'm having are just thoughts. I'm gonna get past them. I'm not. This is not anyways a way of trying to justify any kind of illegal behavior that people do whenever they hurt children, because that happened to me, um, because I experienced sexual trauma. But if if this video like triggers you, or you don't agree with it, or you think that's like too much sharing, like oversharing, like we gotta talk about this stuff, man. Like there's so much, especially in the United States, there's so much like stigma around sexual trauma. And it doesn't have to be one type or another. Just there's a huge under umbrella of what counts as sexual trauma. So I just hope that I can be able to talk to my therapist because I'm just tired of dealing with these issues, tired of having to be sad all the time, even though I'm doing well. I hope this video helps someone to know that they're not alone, especially when it comes to sexual trauma. I want them to know that you're okay. You will be okay even if you're not, and you're loved. Absolutely, you're loved, and I'm sorry for whatever you've been through, but I'm glad you're alive.